Back in March, security forces broke up a gathering in Marja Square in Damascus. Protesters were holding pictures of imprisoned relatives. A fair few people were arrested, according to witnesses. 29th of March, the government resigns. And then the dictator Assad asks Adel Safar to form a new government. April the 8th, protesters demonstrate across Syria. A rights group claims that between 30 and 40 people are killed by security forces. Less than a week later, Assad presents a new cabinet and orders the release of detainees arrested during the month of protest. April 19th, the government passes a bill which lifts emergency rule. The dictator ratifies this 2 days later. April 22nd, a rights group says security forces and gunmen loyal to Assad kill at least 100 protesters. Then, US and EU sanctions come into play. In June, more protests, more killings. Assad pledges to pursue a national dialogue on reform. Syrian intellectuals call for sweeping political change. The government comes out and says it will invite opposition figures to talks on July the 10th. Opposition groups boycott these talks, saying they won't negotiate until Assad stops the crackdown. After besieging the city of Hama for nearly a month, according to residents, Syrian tanks storm it. According to reports, at least 80 people are killed. In August, there is a military assault on the port city of Latakia. Then the UN comes out and expresses alarm over reports of human rights violations. The American president comes out and calls on Assad to step down. Then Britain, France and Germany do the same thing. The UN Human Rights Council publishes a report on the crackdown. EU sanctions increase. Russia says it opposes US and European calls for Assad to step down. Navi Pillay, UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, comes out and says more than 2,200 people have been killed since Assad's crackdown began in mid-March. Late August, some reports say security forces have been fighting gun battles with soldiers who have defected and fled into an area of Damascus after refusing to shoot at a crowd of demonstrators. If you want to read about what went on in Syria last month, well, you can read about the Friday of Death rather than humiliation, or the Friday of International Protection, or the Friday of Continuing until we bring down the regime, or the Friday of Unification against the regime. A couple of days ago, it's reported that heavy fighting has taken place between opposition activists and the army in central Homs province. Some soldiers and police have reportedly defected to the opposition. Could the crackdown escalate into a full-blown civil war? And what would that mean for the region if that were to happen? Syrian families have been fleeing to Turkey in large numbers. Some have fled to Lebanon, others to Jordan. Maybe sectarian tensions are increasing the likelihood of the country descending into civil war. The majority of the security forces belong to the minority Alawi sect, while most of the population are Sunni. I really don't like this Assad fellow. I think he's a real piece of work, like his old man was. And I think his offers of political reform are simply shams. I really can't see how all of this trouble in Syria is going to play out. I think a lot more people are going to lose their lives in this violence. Very sad. And all of this could have been avoided, you know. Anyway, catch you later, folks. Peace.